Hello, and welcome to the I've Seen Everything Reaction Wrap-Up podcast. Here is where I share my thoughts, reactions, and review for my latest reaction videos. To find these full reaction videos, please search for @SeenEverything over on YouTube, or check the description of this podcast for more information. Also, please remember to rate and comment on this episode, and follow the podcast so you can see when I'm putting out new wrap-ups. And now, on to my latest wrap-up for Planes, Trains, and Automobiles. Okay, so yes, confession time. I had seen that scene. I didn't want to say it. I didn't want people to be upset. I didn't see it in the context of the whole movie. I have not seen the movie, but I saw the Del admitting the truth about his wife scene. And to be honest, there's something about first-time viewings versus repeat viewings. First-time viewing, yes, you get the punch of that. And, oh my God, how did we not know, or how did we not see it, or things make so much sense. It kind of changes your perspective of the whole thing about who this person is and what his life is and what this whole thing meant, especially what it meant to him. What you get on a second viewing of something like that is all the lead up through the movie, the little breadcrumbs dropped that he is putting together on the train on the way back, or like as he's heading home, that, oh, wait, Del was laying all this out in front of me, even though he didn't mean to. He knew, or at least knew something was going on, but he knew something wasn't right, that Del hadn't told him the truth before he even walked back in those doors. He might not have known exactly that Del's wife had passed away, but he knew he would still find Del there. So I knew that part. I didn't know that I like me seeing the whole thing, and man, did that hit me. But obviously I'd seen that line. I'd seen it lots of different places. I watched the trailer to the John Candy documentary that's now come out, where obviously they include that because it's the name of the documentary. Part of the reason I wanted to watch this before I watched the documentary is because of that. From what it showed in the trailer, or in things I saw about it, Steve Martin has, I think that scene was even supposed to be longer. He has like original script with stuff in there that was cut out. And I think he reads it because talking about how John Candy performed it, it was something he really wished they had left in, because he did such a good job with it. He did an amazing job even with the part they included, if I'm right about all of that. But this is a Thanksgiving classic, but to be honest, it doesn't really have that much to do with Thanksgiving. You know what I mean? Well, I guess it kind of does. I mean, I keep thinking of it in the context of like a Christmas movie. What makes a Christmas movie a Christmas movie is you keep seeing stuff about Christmas injected into there. There's not really as much in the way of decorations and fanfare for Thanksgiving. There was still the kind of constant problems they were running into because of Thanksgiving, because everybody's trying to get home for Thanksgiving. So in that respect, I guess Thanksgiving was always present as part of the plot of the movie. But it really is just more about these two people coming together. And again, how these stories usually go. People that are very different, people who really rub each other the wrong way, who get into all kinds of crazy and horrible situations together, who are enraged with each other, they can barely stand each other, but then eventually come to, maybe like is a strong word in some of these situations, but to appreciate each other, to learn something from each other. They're generally changed for the better by the experience by the end. I really didn't, I don't know why that thought came to me, but it did during the watching these parts with the car. Tommy Boy with Chris Farley and David Spade, very much the same situation. Out on the road doing sales stuff, end up in a very similar situation with their car. I imagine, I'm going to go look at that after this. I imagine that has to be, in their own little way, some kind of an homage to this movie. But you can see the same kind of general setup to that type of thing, the odd couple kind of comedy situation over and over again. But it's really about how it's done and who's doing it, and the comedic talents present in that equation. And this was long overdue, me seeing this movie. It really warmed my heart to be able to see another John Candy movie that I haven't seen before, since I've loved so many of his movies. And it makes me feel like I need to go watch the other ones that I haven't watched. Again, there's a handful. There's some I haven't heard of, but there's at least a few of them that I know are pretty big titles of his that I still haven't seen. I think Only the Lonely was one, and there's a couple of others, but I don't really have anything else to say. I'm just happy having watched it. Really made me feel good to be able to see another John Candy movie and to be able to see him to be able to see him just be one of the most annoying people in the world one moment, and then just an incredibly sweet person the next. Like those moments where you just really ripped your heart out. Man. And there was a few of them sprinkled through there. I mean, it was really kind of well balanced. I mean, he got better over time too. He stopped being quite as annoying, and they started kind of being in it together as far as just kind of the craziness of the situations they were having to endure to try to just get home or to get him home. Because from what John Candy was saying, like, where was he even going? I don't think he was going anywhere. I think he was just trying not to be lonely during the holidays. That's why when he tried to split up with him in that restaurant, it hurt him so much. Like, that was kind of the whole point for him. There were some things like that they kind of left out about, what is his actual life now? Is he legitimately homeless? If so, how is he traveling or doing anything? I mean, I guess he was, finding ways to make money and stuff. When they split up, he had a rental car and he was headed off on his own. Where was he going? I don't know what else to say about it. I loved it. It's a great movie. I'm glad I watched it. I'm glad I can check off this box of John Candy movies I've seen. I'm glad that you were here to watch it with me. Thanks so much for being along for the ride, and I will see you on the next video. Take care. Thanks so much for listening to the I've Seen Everything reaction wrap-up. Again, to find these full reaction videos, please search for @SeenEverything over on YouTube or check the description of this podcast for more information. Also, please remember to rate and comment on this episode and follow the podcast so you can see when I'm putting out new wrap-ups. Thanks for stopping by, and I'll meet you here for the next episode.